We have added one very important thing today, healing of ancestor souls. We're going to release a lot of ancestor soul. Today, we're going to prosperity blessing, previous life blessing, Sunday blessing, and ancestor soul elevation today. So anybody got soul elevation today, we will talk about today, because today we heal a girl. She was crying and crying and crying, and suddenly I picked up the call, and then suddenly we healed her. And then let's see how she is now. Let's see how she is now. She just called me just now. Lots of ancestor souls, that means people who are your grandfather, your great-grandfather. Some people pray to them. Hey, how are you now? How are you now?
Better now.
Huh?
Getting much better now.
Getting much better. Are you crying?
No more.
About 1 hour ago you called me and you were crying. Why were you crying?
There was a soul attached to me.
Suddenly you felt so emotional, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't know the reason why. You told me you're on the ground and crying, falling on the ground and crying, right?
Yes, sir.
And what did you have?
My father's sister's soul.
Your father's sister's soul. When she passed away? She passed
2
away
years ago.
22 years ago. And why did she pass away?
She had some disease.
What disease?
Cancer.
Cancer. And when she passed away, how many children she left behind when she passed away?
5 children.
5 children. So imagine how the soul will be. How will be the atmosphere of the house performing the death ritual and coming to the point of dying, how the soul will be. And how about the soul of all of them? So this soul will not be able to go up to the causal body no matter what you do. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Your Atma Shanti, your what do you call tapasama? What do you call it? They will come and do yearly prayers and things like that. Tarapanam. You think this soul is going to go?
No, I realized that.
Exactly. Sometimes these people are so funny, they don't seem to understand. And people spend so much of money doing all of this. You need to understand the situation of the soul. You must educate the soul that your life is finished, you're gone, karma is gone, you go. Not coming doing all these mantras and burning coconut and breaking coconut. The soul is not going to go. And that soul came to you because you guys were trying to elevate the soul. Correct?
Yeah. But very surprising that it came after 22 years.
Why not? You just got you realized that soul was there, and you were living happily in your mother's body or your father's body or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you elevate her, she gets very angry. Why are you doing this to me? I'm very happy here. Through you, through your people, I can see my children.
Oh.
I want to be with you guys. I can see my children, I can see my husband. And lucky the good thing, husband never got married. If you got married, she'll be more angry.
Yeah.
Especially when the stepmother starts to go and torture all his children. You know how difficult it will be for her? And she will retaliate and lots of things. Sometimes people can even make things fly in the house. Things can fly, things can drop in the house. It's because they're angry of whatever is going on there. That's why we call haunted houses. The room is haunted. Nobody can go in the room. Something is there in the room. You understand? So this is how this all happens. This is how the haunted houses and all happens. Especially when she didn't commit suicide. She must have gone through a lot of agony, dying in cancer, all this chemo, whatever radiation they had at that time, 22 years ago. And finally she died, and the soul will not be in peace. You see, now people, you have to elevate the soul by telling the soul that this is finished, this is your time, you're gone, there's no point of view, you do not have a physical body. All this emotion not going to go. Now everybody have to balance the karma. You need to go back, and one fine day probably you come as a grandchild of these children. You understand? This is what you do. And the moment I elevate the soul, this girl was fine. She was no more crying. Correcto?
Yes, I was
Yes.
crying. I don't even know why I was crying.
She don't know why I was crying. And I told you, I met a lady in Ahmedabad. She was crying for 4 years, non-stop. Every day, morning, evening, crying. All because there was a soul in her. And in the class in Ahmedabad, we elevated the soul, and she was fine. She was laughing immediately. They've gone to so many places that nothing could be done because people do not understand the concept of soul. It's not catching and tying to a tree or throwing into the water and tying them up and putting. If you go to this temple in India, what do you call it in Kerala? What's the name of the temple in Kerala? They put big needles and poke under the tree. What is that? What? Kochariaman. What? Kochariaman. What is it? Some amman lah. I can't remember the name. No, so there are lots and lots of needles planted on the tree. They keep the soul down there, and how the soul going to go? Chotanika amman. Now I got it. You know, so this is what they do. You know, these are all very old practices, not good practices. People do not know how to elevate the soul. It's all trouble. Today one man came to me, and after 40 years the soul came. It's a very, very old soul. And he wanted to get elevated, and we elevated soul also. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's
Thank
why
you
if
so much.
any one of you got ancestor souls, please sit in the class today, and we will elevate them. Okay? This is what we're going to do today. Okay? So all of you ask forgiveness, whether you're a father, you're a mother, you're an uncle, auntie, ask forgiveness to these people. So we can elevate the soul. Yeah, Chotani Amman temple. You go down, see, big needles, poke, and they even have got a small puppet like thing, poke through the nails. This is what they do in the temple. Is it fair? What are these guys are doing out there? You think it's fair to just poke the needles on all the souls and keep them there? Do they know what they're doing? Somebody put in a bottle and throw them away.